Well, that's it really. I've just heard on the news that Avicii's death has been confirmed as suicide. So, yeah, like it's just crazy. It's crazy, really. And from anybody outside the music industry or anybody who looks on, they're probably thinking to themselves like this 28-year-old man has the world at his feet. You know, it literally has the ability to do anything. You know, he's worth in excess of 80 odd million pounds. He was earning 20 million pounds a year, and he took his life. And you think, why? And if you understand the backstory and sort of what had gone on to get Tim to that point, or get Avicii to that point, so he was a 16-year-old, you know, bedroom producer. So basically he used to sit in his room, he would make tracks, you know, he would talk to other DJs such as Laid Back Luke and be like, okay, how do I do this, how do I improve my production to get here? And he would give him advice, and off the back of that advice, one of his first tracks, Ryu, I think that went out sort of and was involved in Laid Back Luke to a certain degree, and that was it. Like from that point his career exploded as a producer. He was always phenomenally good at producing, but the problem with being a producer is once you get to a point of producing these hit tracks, people want you to play. They want you to turn up and they want you to DJ at their parties. And you know, there's management teams and there's people that see a huge opportunity, like a huge financial opportunity to get these people out there. And a good example are people like Martin Garrix, you know, Avicii is another one. All these producers that produced absolutely amazing tracks, and because of the success of those tracks they get pulled into the limelight. And there's a huge difference between the sort of person that is very happy standing in front of a crowd playing tracks and entertaining. So a good example in that scene would be like Steve Aoki or someone like that. Like he very much enjoys being in there, like he enjoys being out and partying, and you know, he loves it, he thrives on it. Whereas if you can imagine someone who is effectively a nerd, like to be able to produce you've got to be a nerd. Like music, digital music isn't easy, you know. Digital music is, let's get super complicated. Digital music works in steps and you know, in columns and lines and layers. Like it's an extremely geeky thing to be involved in. You have to have a level of like nerd about you to be able to do it. So you take these nerd bedroom producers and all of a sudden you throw them into a 300 date tour all across the world where they're going to earn in excess of 20 odd million. You can only, well, look at the results. Like look at the results. You know, it's now confirmed that Avicii, it is suicide. He had enough. He wanted, it's quoted in a letter to his family that was written in Swedish. He wanted to find balance, and he'd spoken many times about his troubles and not enjoying being in the limelight. You know, he stopped touring because of his pancreatitis. Like he basically was drinking so much, and the stress, all the rest of it was causing him real problems. So he had to stop touring because he was just overworked. Like he was just put into this machine, and the knock-on effect of being put into this machine as a young man has said, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. And you think, okay, what can't you do? The world is at your feet. You've got all this money. You've got all this opportunity. What can't you do? I can't be empty pursuing something that I don't want to pursue, that isn't me. Like I'm chasing something for somebody else, and that's so saddening. And like, it's tragic. Like it's absolutely tragic, and lessons need to be learnt from this across the whole of the music industry. You know, you need to allow people to follow their own dreams and pursue their own passions and things like that. You can't force them into a situation. Like, you know, making a monkey dance is never going to make a monkey happy. And I'm not, you know, saying he's a monkey in any sense. I'm using it as an analogy. You know, just because somebody can do something doesn't mean that ultimately it's going to make them happy doing it. And blown away. Like, it was tragic in the first place, and you think to yourself, oh God, could it have been his health concerns that had got too much? But knowing that he actually took his life because he couldn't bear it anymore. Couldn't bear being a cog in this machine that meant nothing to him. and it's tragic. It's beyond tragic, and I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. And hopefully, if you didn't know the backstory, hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight into the story. You know, from 16-year-old bedroom producer into this huge star back in 2014, then had to quit touring because he'd just basically partied so hard and worked so hard. He had to quit touring, let his body recover, and go back to the place he loved, producing music. And now we've lost that talent forever, like an amazing talent. It's so sad, and I just want to say, like, I've never had the opportunity of meeting the guy, but yeah, 100%. I always, always liked all of his music. Going back to Ryu, like that's when I first became aware of him. I was like, yeah, this is a tune, because I used to be hugely into Laid Back Luke when he used to have Super Me and You, and I know that was one of his first events that he ever got to play at. So I know of his history of a young man sort of coming into the scene and blowing things up, and now he's gone. So I can only say, rest in peace, Tim. And I'm sad. I'm. It's a shame, and I hope nobody else in the industry falls foul of the fate that you have, because that talent is too precious to lose. I don't really know what else to say.